he has raised very serious issues against the regime and against Mr. Museveni personally. And the things he has raised are quite in line with what we have been raising. And we have said very clearly that as long as he raises valid challenges to the regime, as we do, we shall work together. Anybody who wants changes in this country that we have been fighting for is our ally. And to the extent that General Sejusa challenges the regime over these issues of democracy, of human rights, of corruption, of misgovernance of our country in all aspects, the crony system, whoever is challenging these things and wants changes that are substantial for our country is our ally.
How can he be our ally when he's the same man who was chasing you around?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether it's the same man who was chasing us around. It doesn't matter whether, because as we know, even in the Bible, Saul, who was persecuting Christians, became the strongest, advocate and propagator of Christianity. So people change. And even if they don't change, even if somebody was actually, just talking for the sake of it and was not persuaded about what he's saying, but is saying the right things, what he's saying is in alliance with what we are saying. Even if the person saying them may have other reasons for saying them, it doesn't matter. So whoever challenges the terrible things that have been happening and are still happening by courtesy of Mr. Museveni and his regime is an ally in that struggle. And the moment General Sejusa raised his voice and pointed out that there are these terrible things happening and he opposes them, we treated him as an ally in the struggle, regardless of what else and it's important that Ugandans make that distinction, that if you are in a battle, whoever helps you to challenge the opposing forces is your ally. Whatever other problems they have, it doesn't mean that they should be forgotten or have gone away, no. But you must first deal with the main problem, and once that is finished, then whoever has problems amongst those who were prosecuting the struggle can now be examined in a new environment that is free, that is fair. Because what we are fighting is injustice. You cannot deal with justice in an unjust situation. So let's create a just system of government. And if anybody has issues with anybody, including me, and some people have from time to time said, I also have issues. They say you are involved with helicopters, I don't know with what. Whoever has issues then should present them in an open, fair, just system. But having resolved the bigger problem of a system of injustice, which is now, sitting on top of the country.
Would you advise General Sejusa to meet President Museveni?
So I have said that from the position General Sejusa took, we considered him as an ally. I met him several times while he was still in Europe. However, his coming back now is an episode that was not understandable to us. One, that he could come back more or less facilitated to do so by the same regime, and be welcomed, and that we did not understand. What advised it, whether there was any negotiation, we don't know. That's why we are watching with keen interest. We did also not understand how, while still now a serving officer, since he has not retired, how he would do what he was doing outside, because outside he was doing it now as a dissident, and it's okay to be a dissident, and you can still be a dissident here internally, and maybe that's what he has chosen to do. But being a dissident internally, then in the situation he would be in as a serving officer would create complications, not only for him as a person, but even for the principle of what a serving officer needs to do or can do, and what a service officer needs not to do. Because we ourselves have been saying that serving officers should get out of partisan politics, they should get out of parliament, they should remain in their professional public service and not be involved in our political wrangles. And so now in his new situation, there is that dilemma that hangs around that angle.
Do you think it will be easy for him to be given to be allowed to quit the army? Because when you go back and look at your history, how you got
No, I don't think it. I don't think it will be easy, and that is why it confuses us, because he knows pretty well what his colleagues have suffered as a result of being held hostages in the army. He himself has suffered it when he tried to retire in 1996. What he suffered, he knows, until eventually it was reversed and he's stuck in the force. Since then, many others have tried and failed to leave the force.
Was it easy for you?
No, of course it wasn't. And many others, as I have said, have tried and failed, and they are still hostages. So Mr. Museveni is using the military as some kind of a detention center for those he suspects may have political views that are not in line with his, in order to avoid them getting out and opposing him. He hoards them within the military against their views, against their will. And there are many who are in that situation, which is a point General Sejusa has validly challenged. He has said, you should not hold us against our wishes. Because in the military, you see, there is what they call reckonable service, which is a service you sign on to. I think it's now like, I think it's about 13 years for officers, which once you've signed on, you should serve. Unless there are, extraordinary circumstances that require you to leave, you should serve that. You've signed on to it. I think for men, maybe it's 9 years or whatever. Now, once you've gone beyond that, then you should have the liberty. Unless, again, maybe the country is at war and everybody is required to participate or something. But if you have served your term and you want to go, it should be easy. You should say, I've offered my service to my country. Now I want to go out of service. This is an area where there is clear violation of people's rights in the UPDF. orchestrated directly by Mr. Museveni, by the way, not by the institution. It is Mr. Museveni, in an attempt to safeguard his own political fortunes, who is orchestrating the violation of those rights in the forces. And yes, General Sejusa, I think part maybe of what he's trying to do is to start a defiance campaign against that. That's the only thing I can interpret what he's doing to mean.
Is a military and police surrounding his home as we talk now? Of what message does it send to the rest of the world and Ugandans? Because for you have gone out, you have gone through it.
Well, what the military and the police is used to do is simply to create fear. That is all. Because General Sejusa brought himself back here. He is at their mercy, if you like. If they want to take him to prison, they can pick him and take him to prison. If they want to take him to court, they can pick him and take him to court. He's entirely at their, under their control. So it does not require anybody, putting battalions like they were keeping here at my home. Doesn't make any sense. But the purpose of all that is simply to scare others, to say, if you talk about the regime, if you do this, we are going to use maximum force on you, and so on, to intimidate others. But happily, I don't think that still has any strong effect anywhere. I don't think people are intimidatable by that kind of thing anymore.